Welcome back. This is Kilimo Diaries here on TV 47, and on this episode we are focusing on modern beehives, and of course with me is Mr. Peter Mbugua of Tendo Apiaries. And kabla tuende break, we have discussed the placement of the hives, and now I'm wondering, can these modern beehives be moved from place to place depending on the season in order to attract the bees, ama modern zinakaa tu penye ulikuwa umeinstall at first?
They can actually move from place to place, though it's advisable to keep them at the same point. But there are people who do pollination services, especially the bee farms. Hawana nyuki za kutosha. And a farm without bees, the production is very low. Actually, bees are known to pollinate more than 70% of the crops that humans eat. And they increase production by more than 30%, including even determining the shape and the size of fruits, especially of things like avocado. So there are people who do migratory beekeeping, but it's not very, very popular here yet. And there are people who do pollination services. They take the hives to the farms when the plants are flowering. Then after that, they take them back to the apiary.
Yes. But would you, as a farmer who has done this beekeeping for a very long time, would you advise for migratory beekeeping?
Could be advisable, but I don't think in Kenya we have those extremely dry areas.
Yes.
So what people do, because you don't have very big commercial beekeepers, they can feed them. Yeah, there are people who do feed it, maybe with pollen, the pollen that you've harvested for the bees, you can feed them back, and sugar water, which is not very advisable. Yes. Or honey water, just honey and mix with water to sustain them. Our seasons are not very far apart, so you only need maybe a little feeding. That is in extreme cases of drought. And once you feed them, you are not feeding them to make honey. You are feeding them to keep them alive until the season comes.
Okay. All right. And now, do these modern hives require inspection? And maybe when you're doing that inspection, what exactly are you checking for?
It is advisable to inspect your hives once in a while, maybe once a month. What are you looking for during inspection? You are looking, one, at the colony strength and the health of the colony. The health of the colony mostly is determined by the health of the queen. Is the queen laying? If the queen is laying, how is the laying pattern? Okay, if it's laying a lot of all the frames are almost full with brood, that's a very strong queen. If it is spotty, unapata tumayai hapa na pale, so the queen may be failing, what we call a failing queen. The queen may be sick, or sometimes they're not eggs at all. So the queen may be absent. That could be a queenless hive. So we are able to replace the queens that are not performing. Number two, what we look for are pests. Okay, they are they're pests like wax moth, which is very devastating to a hive. If
so
the colony,
that pest will enter inside the hive when the bees are still inside?
Yes, when the bees are still inside. Okay. Especially if it's a small colony, if a small weak colony, a small swarm may get into your hive. Now, you want to give a time a fighting chance to grow. That's why our hives have an entrance that is reducible. If you see the yellow and green entrance, it's reducible. If you get a very small hive entering the beehive, make it very small so that they are able to defend that hive until they build up. But then again, if the small swarm comes in, we are able to boost them by getting what we call a capped brood from a strong colony, introducing it to the small swarm. So when the bees emerge from that swarm, from that frame, they'll be part of that colony.
All right.
Yes.
And Aki, hapo pa ku-inspect, I think Jaffe is already out kwa sababu anaogopa bees. Masese out because anaogopa bees. I'm the only one who can do it.
Of course. And also inspection also gives you an indication of when maybe you can harvest your honey, when your honey will be ready. Yes.
All right. And so how are your modern hives designed so that they can be pest-free?
We have an entrance, what we call a hive entrance.
That's like the red one?
This for the catcher box. There's one in front here. Okay. The hive entrance is reducible, and also it has very small holes, just only bees can fit in through there. Otherwise, if you put very big entrances, you put a lizard, you put a rodents inside there, you find the wax moth, which is very devastating. And again, there's something else that is very devastating, the sugar ants. Once they have detected there is honey inside there, they'll crawl up. So we have special studs. I don't know if you have one here now. We have special studs that are able to prevent the sugar ants and the safari ants from crawling up into the beehive. Yes.
So the interesting part now, honey. On your apiary, how much honey do you harvest in a season?
Honey harvesting depends on the kind of hives that you have. Okay. So I think let's talk about harvesting per type of hive.
Yes, per type.
I started Langstroth, which you call a shallow Langstroth, with the smaller frames, will give you about 10 kgs per harvest. Okay? Each will give you about 10 kilos per harvest.
Each of this?
No, the whole hive, yes.
Okay.
Because it has 10 frames, and each frame has a capacity of about 1 kg. The capacity of hive productivity depends on two factors: how strong your colony is, and how much forage is available in your area. You can have a very strong colony, lakini hakuna maua, hakuna miti. So where will the bees get the nectar that they need to make the honey and the other resources? So you need a good colony, and there's a way we can boost the colony, like I told you, where you can replace the queen, we can introduce brood, capped brood into a weak hive. And then, of course, planting. We encourage people to plant as much as possible. Bees forage about 3 kilometer radius. But even if there's forage around you, you can only depend on forage. So plant as many bee-specific plants, bee-friendly plants, what we call bee botany, as much as you can. A Kenya Toba hive will give you almost the same as that, 10 to 12 kgs each harvest. But this one delays. You have to cut off the comb and use a honey expressor, a honey press to remove the honey. So your bees will go back to zero to build new comb. So it will take time for them to build new comb again, where the guy with the Langstroth, his bees are already reusing the old comb, just bringing nectar, storing it, processing it a bit, reducing moisture content. Yeah.
So this one makes the work easier for the bees?
It makes work easier for the bees and means more honey for the beekeeper. You can harvest the hive about 3 or 4 times in a year where the forage is good. Okay.
And does the honey of modern hives even taste better than those of traditional hives? And in terms of even cleanliness, is there a difference between the honey that is harvested in both?
Yes, there's a very, very big difference between modern hives and the traditional, honey from the traditional hive, especially because of the queen excluder. The queen excluder prevents the queen from laying in the super box. The super box is the honey storage area, the top box, which is this box, or this one in this case in the standard one. Unlike the traditional log hive, where the brood and the honey is mixed. So once they cut off the comb, one side of the comb has honey, the other side of the comb has brood. That's the egg, larva, pupa stage. These people don't even have time to cut off whatever. Or you may find even one side of the comb is honey, the other side of the comb is, and they just press it out together. So mpaka hizo brood zinachanganya tu kwa asali. So it's quite unhygienic. Yes.
All right. And once now you've gotten your honey, how would you advise a farmer to store it and to even package it for selling?
The first thing you do once you extract your honey is to sieve it properly, proper filtering. If you don't filter your honey properly, it will crystallize. Crystallization means the fructose and the glucose molecules will bind. And they usually bind to any particle that is in the honey. That's what known as harina inashikana. So people start saying in sukari guru, okay, the honey is not bad.
Yes.
We call it crystallized honey. Actually, that means that honey is raw, it's not heated. But then customers out here watasema asali yako ni sukari guru. So make sure you sieve it properly to remove all the particles so that the glucose and the fructose molecules don't find particles to bind on for the honey to crystallize.
Okay. And on average, in terms of now money matters, how much does honey, one tub, go for? How much do you sell it for?
Our retail price is 850 shillings per kg, but we also sell to repackers, people who pack at slightly lower. And the people who sell the honey as much as 2,000 shillings. So it depends with your market. This is capable of giving you 10,000 shillings per harvest, depending on your clientele.
Okay.
Yes.
And for the farmer that is now interested, I know Jackie is very interested. How would you advise her so that she doesn't make mistakes once she has gotten the modern beehive so that she can get maximum production?
What we do, once you get you source your beehives from us, we work with you, Jackie, from installation to making sure your hives are stocked, okay? Because of one of the biggest challenges are farmers out there having uncolonized hives. A hive without bees is like a factory without workers. So it's just there depreciating without benefiting the farmer. And that's a big challenge that is happening out there. So engage a reputable company like Tendo Apiary. We'll supply you with quality equipment. We will guide you on installing. Actually, we prefer installing ourselves. We have a very good team here led by Kelvin. We install the hives. We consider all the factors, and we make sure the hives are stocked. Stocked in making sure your hives have bees. Then you can either engage us contractors to manage the site for you. We can train you, or even your worker, to make sure your investment pays you.
Okay.
Yes.
And parting shot as we wind up is, how can then someone reach you?
We are at Ruaka, Kasharaga. Our number is 0719-120021. Come to us for Modern Beehives, for support, for training, for value addition. We do the entire beekeeping value chain from production, processing, value addition, and training. Yes.
All right, fantastic. Asante sana for speaking to us and giving us more insights on how modern beehives compare to traditional beehives. And of course, asante sana to you for always watching Kilimo Diaries here on TV47. And thank you to our partner, the Kenya National Farmers Federation, and of course, the crew. Keep it TV47. I am Sheila Chelangat, and of course, this is Kilimo Diaries, a show for the farmer, by the farmer, with the farmers.